Uh, this time, let's talk about Donald Trump. So, this has to do with the Asian American Pacific Islanders blaming Trump for discriminating on Asians in USA and making things worse. And yeah, he has said some things already this year, like the saying using the terms Kung flu and China virus and instead of the proper COVID-19 or coronavirus. And yeah, he was trying to be racist. Yeah. So many Asian American Pacific Islanders groups blame Trump for this, conducted by Politico. So 71% of the AAPI adults blame Trump for this. So so what research shows, 66% of Chinese people blame Trump, followed by 63% of Japanese, 59% of Koreans, 54% of Vietnamese, 52% of Indians, and 49% of Filipinos. Pacific Islanders was right behind with 38%. Although the majority of 55% cited it as a major or minor reason for the discrimination. So it's conservative Chinese Americans had welcomed Trump entry into politics, but they were disappointed over this anti-China rhetoric. The terms he used. So Cliff Lee, who is the head of the National Committee on Asian American Republicans, and he endorsed Joe Biden a week before the November 2020 election. The conservatives, some of them felt like we're part of the team, but why did you suddenly turn against us? So we're feeling, and they felt like they were being used. The poll, which surveyed 2,000 AAPI adults in June, had so roughly 210 were more likely to identify with the community than did prior to coronavirus with the AAPI. The Asian American Pacific Islanders. So the people who just recently joined were like 8 out of 10 of them. At least they joined when coronavirus started, and Asians are being targeted. with the terms with let's not forget about Donald Trump using China virus and Wuhan virus and the third one, Kung flu. So researchers at the University of California, San Francisco found out that since when Donald Trump used his first tweet using the China virus term, that led to an increase in anti-Asian hashtags, and they said that was one of the connections of hate crimes, which increased and made things worse, actually. So people who are like targeting Asian because they thought us Asians had coronavirus and carrying the coronavirus and already previously they thought, oh, the Asians don't belong here, go back to China, because yeah, you know, them idiots, they all think we come from China, or yeah, they only care about themselves, and they never understand like what countries exist, and yeah, it's just embarrassing. So stop it, Asian American Pacific Islanders hate, which is a coalition. So they found 9,081 reports between March 19th of 2020 and June 30th, 2021. No, that was an increasing of anti-Asian hate incidents. So due to underreporting, because you know, some Asians choose not to report it because the police aren't really reliable, and they usually aren't very helpful unless the police, one of the police members are Asian. And yeah, and also Donald Trump was sued in May of this year with for defamation, infliction of emotional distress, and yeah, we talked about that this year, and because of his use of xenophobic terms directly contributed to the surge of violence against Chinese and other Asian Americans. And yes, that is true. He was one of those people who did contribute to the trouble. And yeah, that, and of course that group wanted former president to pay every Asian American $1 for an estimated total of $22.9 million, which will be used to build an Asian American Pacific Islanders centric museum. And yeah, that would actually be good, because people really need to know about Asian heritage, because they Americans, they lack knowledge on Asians. It's true. And not to the fact that oh, they could look at a Korean or Malaysian or or Singaporean or Taiwanese person and go, oh, that person's probably from China or Japan, because they know nothing about us, and yeah. and as a Korean DJ who resides in Montreal, Davin Lee, as he tweeted, people are endorsing Asian culture, but they are not accepting Asian people. And yeah, that is a statement I live by, and and he had performed at concerts alongside Nick Miller. You know him as a Millennium, and some other people, and people have used racist language at him, and they call him the C word, which is a racist term used against the Chinese and Koreans, and also which Korea are you from? Which they know. Only idiots make that kind of joke, and even though they actually know the answer, and they're just trying to annoy us. And just because a certain Asian person did this, and that person is of a certain Asian country background, and then they assume, all and the people in that country are bad people, and they started this, and and they just don't really understand. So, what USA needs is an Asian American Pacific Islanders museum, and also people really need to understand more about different Asian cultures, because and sure, like certain countries have made mistakes, but there's some other stuff, and they're not to blame. And especially with coronavirus, it's hard to tell with where it's originated, because there's not been a clarification on where it's from. But we can clarify about the variants though. And it's already disappointed in that Donald Trump has not apologized for using such racist terms, and technically agitating the entire Asian American community because of that. So, support any Asians if they're like being targeted physically, verbally, cyber, any form. And it's time that people of other races actually supported us, because Asians, they don't really get support much, and it's time you supported Asians too. It's not just about black people. We matter too, and we haven't got much support, and me, being a Korean and also an Asian, I can clarify that. It's not my opinion. It actually does happen.